I look like a band-aid. No, that's not what I meant.
What?
Like a bandit. But that's not the right word.
Bandit.
Bandit?
Yes.
That sounds wrong too.
Not
Look.
wrong.
Pew, pew.
Jesus. Okay. Well, how have
Oh,
you
God.
been?
How have I been? I've been okay. We're still alive.
That's true. That's true.
I feel so overbelicht.
Okay.
But we call it golden hour.
Kind of at like almost 8 p.m.
Do
Sure.
I look good in golden hour? Is it just boom, white?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's okay.
My hair looks good though.
It does.
It looks extremely black, but it's not, I promise. It's
No,
aubergine.
it's not.
It's an
Eggplant.
eggplant. But you can't see it. Or I'm
Okay.
blind.
So,
Sorry.
anyways, hi everyone. Episode 5. It's a double upload this week.
Battle number.
Yes, it is. It's
Did
a
I
double.
Did I say that with episode 4 being that it was?
No, you
Lando's?
said it with episode 3 that was Daniel's episode, and then
Oh
the
my
next
God, I
episode
missed-
was gonna be Lando's episode.
What?
You said in episode 3 that the next episode was gonna be Lando's episode.
Oh, I did. Okay, but I didn't
Yes.
say it at the episode itself.
Nope, because we were talking about anxiety, honey.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay, the last one was Lando's.
Okay, so hi again.
Hello.
It's a double upload this week because I have been too busy to edit and post last week, so it went up this week, and this will be up as well. But let's talk about the race because they were in Japan.
Yes.
What were your thoughts?
What did I think? Well, I was not gonna lie, kind of sad that there was no rain, although it was expected.
True, but I was also happy about it because it makes it so dangerous there.
Yeah, but I feel like it would have been more exciting if there actually was some rain, although it is definitely more dangerous. But I don't know. It was so bored. What the fuck was that?
Sorry, I yawned. I tried to hold it in. I worked all day, okay? I'm very tired today.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It just looked funny. But no, I think it was kind of boring. The only exciting part there was Lando being like mowing the grass, and complaining about it, and Max making a big deal out of it as well. So
yeah, that was literally the only interesting thing that happened.
Yeah.
Also, did you see? I saw this on somewhere on the internet after the race. We made Yuki driver of the day.
Yeah.
They used Liam's number. You know,
really?
you have like the picture, and then in the background it has the number behind it. So Yuki is number 22, Liam is number 30, and it was number 30. I know. It's so bad.
Did you also see that Sainz got a 20K fine because he was like a couple seconds late to the national anthem because of confirmed problems with his stomach?
True. So his fine went down.
Yeah, but to 10K.
Well, he had like a 60K fine at the initially, I think.
What?
I know, it's insane. Also, Alex got fined for swearing, and he got 3 penalty points for it. Apparently.
Why was that never confirmed by Formula 1 itself? I never saw that
because
anywhere.
because Formula One doesn't tweet that or put that on Instagram.
Usually they do.
No, it's just the FIA that puts out like
Yeah,
the
but they usually
screenshot of the sheet
let us
with
know when someone is
everything.
fined.
No,
They did it with Max.
it depends on what
Yeah, and
what
how
they
interesting it
do.
is. But why did they find Alex while
For
Lando,
swearing
Max, Lewis, and whatever else had already been
because
serving?
they changed the rules that you are allowed to swear in the car as long as it's not directed to someone else or to the race director or the stewards or something.
So if you call another driver stupid or something, then
Yeah, you get fined. But I know they're babies.
oh my
But if
god.
you swear during an interview,
When did Alex swear during an
I don't
interview?
know. I didn't watch any interviews. I just saw that on the internet. Could be wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Let's
No, I don't
hope
know.
it's wrong because I don't want
Yeah.
him to have 3 penalty
3 penalty
points.
points is insane.
That's so much. Like Lewis didn't even get that many penalty points when he knocked Max
Max off.
off in Silverstone.
But these penalty points are fucking jokes because they fined Alonso 2 penalty points for a little crash with George, like last season
Yeah,
or
I
something.
don't know what they're doing.
No, I don't
It's
think they
so
know what
weird.
they're doing either. They're just like
Yeah,
penalty points for
true.
you, penalty points for you, penalty points for you.
They have no idea.
No, it's insane. But other than that, the race
Idiots.
was boring.
Yeah, it
And I was
was.
mad at like McLaren missed such a big opportunity. I'm happy for Max that he won. And I think it's kind of funny that the first three winners were also on the podium in Japan, which is funny. And it's the season starter, three different race winners,
Let's
so that's
hope every
nice.
race has a different winner.
Should
That
be
would be
fun.
funny.
Would be fun, but that's not possible. So there's going to be
True.
two, four drivers who have like doubles, but still fun.
Doesn't matter.
Um, no, that's true.
At least Alex gets his win.
Yes, and Kimmy. I did see a lot of like loafing things for how do you say that? Like for Kimmy, he's the youngest driver to be leading a race
I
and get
saw
the fastest
by
lap.
like 3 days.
Exactly, it was the last opportunity for him to do so. So I
But
think that
he's
was
never going
pretty
to be the
fun.
youngest winner.
No,
Because I
never.
don't
Nobody's
think,
gonna be.
well, that's already past
Yeah.
being the youngest winner. But I also think he's not going to get his first win this year, maybe.
No, he's not. But I think it was like it's cute that he's like the youngest race leader ever.
He's
By a
good.
couple of days.
But
And
I don't think the car is good
no,
enough this year to give him his first
yeah, maybe
win.
in Russell's hands, but not for Kimmy.
True, but even then, Russell makes mistakes.
A lot. I think Kimmy is going to be first driver at Mercedes really fast.
I think that eventually George is gonna be out and Max is
Yeah.
gonna come in. Yeah, Max wants to drive for Mercedes.
What?
Yeah,
Since when?
and Toto wants him,
Yeah, no, duh. Of course Toto wants him because he wants the
but Toto
F.
promised Lewis not to go for Max this season because Lewis
Max
just
is not going
left.
to go to him before his contract is up. He's going to finish his
Well,
contract with Red Bull.
if he's not gonna be champion this year, he's gone. He's leaving Red Bull. I'm so sure. There's a clause in his contract that says if they don't give him a winning car, he can leave. And Aston
This man
Martin
has
wants him.
so much power.
Aston Martin wants him, and Mercedes wants him.
Everybody wants him. Ferrari wants him too.
True, but I think they could
McLaren.
have a good chance with these two drivers if they get it
Yeah,
together as a team.
for real. But McLaren needs to get it together too because they missed such a big opportunity this weekend because they pitted Lando at the same time as Max, which was fucking stupid, and
They
pitted
try
Piastri
to
before.
be quicker and get in front of Max. But Max is
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's not happening. Also, you know whose fault it was that they were side by side? The
Mm.
team's fault.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
Max was already on the fast lane.
Yeah.
So McLaren
They
shouldn't
should have
have
waited.
let, yeah, they should have let Max pass.
Definitely. It's so fucking stupid. They should have pitted him a lap before Max if they wanted to be in front or
Yeah.
waited longer. But don't pit him on the same lap. That was just,
Nope.
yeah, no, dumb.
It really was. Anyways, what are you expecting from Bahrain?
Oh, I think Red
I
Bull's gonna
also
be.
can't watch.
Why?
I'm going out for my grandma's birthday dinner.
Oh, do you want me to keep you updated?
Yes, please. Monique is
Then
gonna
you.
watch though because she's here,
Oh,
so
that's fine.
she'll be able to watch. But
Okay, cool. I can
I
talk
don't
with
know how
her.
much I'll be on my phone. But
I'll just text you and then you can just read it whenever you want. And but then you have to text me on the 20th because Saudi Arabia is then and my brother's birthday is on the 20th. So I'll
okay,
be gone for a weekend. So I won't be able to watch
okay,
probably
okay.
or like later in the evening. So
I don't know what
cool.
time Saudi is.
For me that looked like we were both pointing our hands to the
The other side.
yeah, not together. We were both like this.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, for me it was the right way. What time is
Perfect.
Saudi?
Saudi is at 7. 7
Oh,
to
okay,
9. And then Bahrain is 5 to 7.
okay, okay. Well,
Yeah. But what am I gonna expect? I think honestly, I think Max is
I
gonna
kind
do
of don't remember Bahrain. I
it's
just
like the
remember
one that goes
it
like that
like it's like a square basically.
sorta. Yeah. I think Max is gonna do pretty well there. He's been doing well there for the past couple of years.
True,
So
but Charles as well.
yeah, true. So I think it's gonna be Ferrari more in the front.
I I hope so because it's warm in Bahrain and the Ferrari
Yeah.
does very well with the heat.
Yeah. And the
So
Mercedes doesn't. So I think the Mercedes is gonna be further back. We're manifesting that shit.
we're so
And
not nice.
huh?
We're so not nice.
Well, we're not hating. We're just not
We're just
liking them.
expressing our opinions.
Exactly.
Why does this?
I'm
What am I doing?
Monza. As long as you're not actually hating on the drivers
Yeah,
or
that's true.
telling them to die, then I'm fine with you not liking any drivers and you can be like talking about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna shy away from the fact that I do not like George. I
Yeah,
have
same.
a no. I don't like the guy.
Same.
Just no.
Also, I'm sorry, Idil, but there's something about Carlos's face that I do not like.
Oh, I'm so
I
glad you said it.
I don't know
Oh,
what it is, but it
he's
just
not
it triggers
attractive to
me.
me.
No, same. It triggers me
Yes,
in the wrong
it
way.
just it doesn't just it's not like something doesn't fit there. You know, I don't know, but I have the
It's
same
not
with
like I
Mac.
find that many drivers attractive though.
No,
So
me neither. Though for me, it's like probably Lando,
Lewis,
Lewis, Charles. I
that's
find
it.
Max attractive in certain ways. Like sometimes, post race where he's like taking his helmet off and like the hair's all rough it and like. But other than that, Max is not that attractive.
No,
And Alex has something that I'm like, he's cutesies.
he's just
Ollie,
cute.
yeah.
Ollie, I can't think about Ollie like that. He's
Me
too young.
neither. But still, Ollie is cute. I think he's really, really nice. And Kimmy is also cutesies, but he's so young, so that's a no.
They're both
So
extremely
young.
young.
Oh, but other than that,
Ollie was
no.
very nice though. I
Ollie is
think
so cute.
he's so nice.
I want to meet him again this year.
We'll try.
I hope so.
I can't promise anything. Now he's an F1 driver.
He's gonna be my favorite next to Lando, I think. I
And there's
like him a
gonna be
lot.
F1 Academy. So I kind of hope next year it's gonna be F2 and F3 again.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
that was so much fun.
That was so much more fun than F1 Academy, not gonna lie.
I like watching F1 Academy.
True,
And
but
all the girls were super nice.
yes. They're so
But
humble.
true. But the thing is, when there's a race and then there's F1 Academy, it's just the race on F1 Academy
Yeah.
that I watch. And then the rest is like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
When there's F2 and F3, there's a full program to watch. And I
Yeah, there's
like
a
that a
couple of
little more.
races. Yeah, there's so many more races to watch and stuff.
Exactly.
Not that I do because I keep forgetting that F2 and F3 is before F1. So I'm like, okay, at 7 it's
True, but
F1. Then I
the
forget
last
that.
three races were too early. So
Yeah.
I
No.
did not watch F2 or F3
Mm-mm.
because it was too early for me.
Yeah. Not doing that.
Nope.
But I'll watch it back. That's fine.
Yeah, I like
I just
F2
don't
and
know
F3.
enough about it. Like I don't know enough drivers and stuff.
I I'm still struggling with the quali and the two different races how it works.
They do the
So I
quali where
just
you're
watch the races and then I'll see what happens.
well, when they qualify, they
Oh.
qualify like when who takes pole takes 10th in the first
Yeah,
race.
that's what I don't understand. That's so
Okay,
I
it's easy
cannot get
though.
it into my head.
It's easy. You finish on like you got pole position for the main race. That means you're starting 10th in the first race. So if you're 10th, it means you're starting pole in the first race, but 10th in the main race.
It just yeah, okay. And then the other race it is like you qualified, right?
So the main race is how you qualified on whenever you're qualifying,
Mm-hmm.
but the race before that, they switch the top 10. So the number 1 becomes number 10 and 2 becomes 8, 9 and then 3
Yeah,
becomes
okay.
8 like that.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But
It's
I do forget it when I'm watching.
yeah,
I
but
got sorry, I got an email from
mm.
Enchante.
Oh, I want to get the new Quadrant slash Lando merch or
I
the Lando merch.
want this. Oh, you can't see. Crap.
Not really. Send me a screenshot. Oh,
Okay.
now you can
Oh,
see my hair is purple.
I want this one
That's
so
cute.
bad, but it's 124 euros.
Damn. I
So
want to get the new hoodie slash t-shirt slash jogging from
you
Lando's.
want everything?
I want everything, but it's a whole set. So it's like
That's cool.
blue, pink, or black, and it's like a
That's
shirt,
cool.
a sweater, and a. But it's fucking expensive, and the only thing that's on it is Lando's logo.
Okay, that's kind of
So
boring. You could just like get a cheap set and
yeah, do
then
it
make it
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. But I do want some quadrant merch. Maybe I'm gonna ask for my birthday. Maybe I don't know. But I'm like, I'm not sure what I want, so I need people to ask me what I like, and then they can pick between that.
Okay.
I
Well, you
got a
can
whole
always
list. I'll
send
send.
me what you like.
Yeah, I got a whole list for my birthday. I'll send it to you.
Okay, good. I wanted to tell you something.
Oh God.
I, you know, I went to a concert on Sunday, right?
Yeah, to Jack and Jack, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Yeah. We met them, right?
Yes.
What's happening?
I'm
What
sorry.
happened?
When I this is like a whole lore. It's like I don't know if you've heard of MacCon.
Yes, I have.
I
I've
was
known Max.
such
Max. I've known Sean since then.
I've been such a fan, but of MacCon. Like
Yeah.
insane. I went through my Twitter
I
the
even
other
have a
day.
song of Cameron in my
Yes.
playlist. Okay, keep up.
Yes, I keep seeing that one on TikTok since Sunday. Every day I've seen it. But I went through my Twitter the other day and
Yeah.
just scrolled all the way back.
Oh God.
I was so embarrassing. I even though I it was like 2014
Yeah.
when I was still in high school, I made my own diary with like pictures and everything, and there's like
Journal.
pages dedicated to Macron. I know. So me going to that concert already made me so happy. It made like
Did you take it with you and show it to them?
no,
Oh
no.
God. Okay.
I made like 15-year-old me so happy. I healed a part of my inner child, especially when I met them and then Jack J gave me a hug and I literally cried afterwards. I was so
Oh,
happy. And during the concert as well, we were on the balcony and I was just leaning and then I started like and
yeah.
I just stared at them watching, taking it all in, making like a core memory because I was so happy in that moment.
Oh,
And they said
I
they're gonna come back next year. I'm gonna get VIP.
yeah, you should. I need this with One Direction. The only sad
Oh
thing is that Liam won't be here anymore, but I would definitely heal something inside of me if I get Niall to hug me or Zayn,
yeah,
all of them
true.
basically.
I don't know if that'll. I'm sorry. I just oh my god. I
What?
just looked out my window. I can look directly into my neighbor's house. And she
Oh
was
god.
naked.
Oh god. No. Oh, poor girl.
Oh my god, I did not expect that.
No, I get that. Jesus. Oh god.
Anyways, I just wanted
Lovely.
to tell you how happy it made me to be at that concert and meet them.
I get
And then
that.
I asked, after the hug, I asked him for a picture. But there were so many people there. He was like, I'm sorry, I wish I could, but there's just too many people. So
Oh.
I had my phone ready with the camera and I was like, can we do it sneaky? So I would like and then he just went
Oh, that's adorable.
but Idil was there and then she filmed and then she took pictures as well. So I do have a picture with him.
That's nice.
We were talking and he's smiling at me. So I'm so happy. I feel like a little girl when that happens.
That's so cute. Yeah, I want that too, but with my boys.
Yeah, I
But I
get
need
that.
Liam there.
That's so
I
sad.
never realized until I got older that Liam was actually low key one of my favorites. So I'm really sad that that's never gonna like. I was obsessed with Niall and Louis for
Hmm.
some reason. I don't know why because Louis is not really my favorite now at the moment. If I'm thinking about it, but he fell off the wagon for a bit, so I guess that might be it. But I was obsessed with those two. I'm still obsessed with Niall, but I think
Yes, you
Liam was
are.
always, huh?
Except I said yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm definitely are. But I think Liam was always
Definitely
just,
are.
yeah, I'm definitely obsessed with Niall still. I love the guy. But I think Liam just sort of like on the, like, back foot or something, always had like this, I don't know. I always had this thing for him as well.
Yeah,
He's just, he was so relatable in some ways.
I get that. I my favorite always was always Harry, but I also always had a soft spot for Zayn.
Same. I was so sad when he left. I literally stopped listening for a while. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to acknowledge the fact. So the album 4, I know a couple of songs, but I don't know all of them because I literally did not want to acknowledge the fact that he left. I
Oh,
hated it so much. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I get that, but
And then when
I
they took
also
their
get
break,
why
oh,
they're still on a break.
I know.
They're
And they'll
never
never
getting
get
back
back together
together.
because it's not gonna be.
Not gonna be the same.
No, never will be.
Anyways, we were gonna do
Anyways,
something.
yeah. I hate talking about Liam in past tense, by the way. It sucks so much.
It
Oh, there's
really
guys
does.
shirtless. Oh,
I
sorry. That's gonna be the slogan for the new episode. Oh, there's guys shirtless. Oh God, I'm sorry.
I
They're
guess.
probably like 16 or something. I can't really see, but they're no, yeah, they're definitely babies. But there's two of them shirtless. I got distracted for a second. I was like, "Whoa, hold on." Okay.
I mean, Jack and Jack took their shirts off during the concert. I know.
Excuse you.
Yeah, they did at the end.
Damn.
We also had interactions with them during the concert.
Oh, cute. I love that. I had that with We Three. I didn't have an actual interaction with him, but the lead singer Manny, he's the youngest of the three brother sisters thing, and at some point, people were like, he was like making signs and shit, like hearts and stuff, and then he stopped doing that, and then at some point, I like did this at the like over my head when nobody was doing it and was kind of quiet, and he literally looked me right in the eyes and he did this back, and I was like,
That's so cute. That's an
ah!
interaction. That's an interaction.
Okay.
That's so
Why
cute.
didn't film it?
I never film my interactions, but I love having interactions with artists
Me
on stage.
too. Me too. It was so cute. He just looked right at me and he was like, and I was like, oh my
That's so
god,
cute.
stop it.
I did that with when I went to XG.
Yeah.
One of the girls, I did like this heart to her, and then she did it back, and then we both at the same time went like that.
Nice.
It's so good. And someone else filmed it, so
So you
I
do
was
have
just
it.
so happy. Yes, I do have it.
That's nice.
But I never film my own interactions because I want to be present.
Yeah, me too.
I also
And
don't
I
really
mean,
film that
I
much
wasn't
at
expecting
concerts.
anything to happen. I didn't expect him to genuinely like look at me and see the heart. So I wasn't
Hmm.
expecting anything. That's why I didn't have my camera out at all. So I couldn't have filmed
It's
it
fine.
even if
It's
I
a
wanted.
memory.
Exactly. And I love that.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Okay, should we start reading now?
Yes. Do you have the time of how much longer we have in this?
There's no timer yet.
Okay.
It
Well,
just says record.
okay. We are gonna. Please don't. We
We're
are gonna
finally back to reading it.
reading
I
Twisted
hate the
Love
fact
again.
that she's having me not read this behind the scenes because y'all, I need to know.
Yeah, well,
I
we're
want to
reading
read.
now. We're reading now.
Ugh. Okay,
We left off at chapter 6.
I've never read a book so slowly.
Same. But I already read this, so for me it's fine.
It hurts my being.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not.
It's okay. I'm actually proud of myself that I haven't secretly read it. Like I
Yes,
genuinely put it
yes.
away and I'm like, no.
Good job. Good job. Read other books.
I am.
Okay, good. Do you
Okay.
want to start or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so chapter 6, Ava. For somebody who forgot where we were, we left off where Alex interrupted her
Oh,
boudoir.
boudoir photo shoot. Yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
also forgot where we left off.
I read it back just now. So
Okay.
okay. Then said, never ask Ava to do something like this again, or I will murder you and your entire family. Jules finished
Sorry.
dramatically. Oh, calm your tits. Dramatically before taking a sip of her caramel maca. Shut up. Stella leaned forward, her eyes wide. He did not say that. No, he didn't. I shot Jules a disapproving look. Stop exaggerating. How would you know? You were in the bathroom, she countered. When my frown deepened, she signed. Fine. He didn't say those exact words, at least not the last part, but the general idea was the same. He did warn Owen away from you, though. Jules ripped off a piece of her cranberry scone and popped it in her mouth. Poor Owen. Guilt nibbled at me as I traced absent-minded patterns on the table. Jules, Stella, Bridget, and I were at the morning roast for our weekly Tuesday coffee catch-up, and Jules had been regaling the other girls with the hyperbolist?
Hyperbolist.
Okay, account of what happened at Owen's house on Saturday. I love that we got a name for the guy now. I do kind of like to call him Blondie, though.
Wasn't he called Glasses?
If that's Owen, I don't know, because who got the camera, the Blondie or the glasses?
Glasses, right?
No, Blondie. I hope Blondie enjoyed his
Wait.
working pair of eyes while he still had them.
Ah, I'm sorry. I got them confused.
Okay, good. So we got a name for Blondie. His name is
Yes.
Owen. We're
Yes.
calling him Blondie. Um, I wish he hadn't gotten dragged in this. All those hours of shooting gone. I worked with Owen at the McCain Gallery, where I'd served as a gallery assistant for the past year and a half. My father had never said outright he disapproved of me pursuing a photography career, but made it clear that he wouldn't fund any of my equipment. He paid for my tuition and other school-related expenses, but if I wanted a new lens, camera, or even a tripod, that was all me. I tried not to let his unspoken disapproval bother me. I was beyond lucky I'd graduate with no student loan debt, and I wasn't afraid of hard work. The fact I'd shelled out my own money for every piece of equipment made me cherish them a little more, and I enjoyed my job at McCann. It was one of the most prestigious photography galleries in the Northeast, and I loved my coworkers, though I wasn't sure whether Owen would want anything more to do with me after what Alex had done. Even now, my skin heated with anger at the memory of his overbearing attitude. I couldn't believe he'd had the gall to show up and boss me around like that, to threaten my friend, to act like I was a servant or his employee. Even Josh had never gone that far. I stabbed at my yogurt with my fork, furious. Sounds like I missed an interesting time,
I'm
Bridget
sorry.
sighed.
Why is she eating yogurt with a fork?
I don't. I was just questioning that in my mind. I was like, okay, sure. Everybody got that thing, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Well, continue.
All the fun stuff happens when I'm away. Bridget had been attending an event at Eldora's New York consulate, as was required of the Princess of Eldora. She's the princess? That's right.
Yes.
She was an honest to God, real life princess, second in line to the throne of a small but wealthy European country. Where the fuck is Eldora?
It's fake.
Okay, good. She looked the part too, with her golden hair, deep blue eyes, and elegant bone structure. She could have passed for a young Grace Kelly. I hadn't known who Bridget was when she, Jules, Stella, and I found ourselves assigned to the same suite freshman year. Besides, I would have expected a freaking princess to have a private room. But that was the great thing about Bridget. Despite her insane upbringing, she was one of the most down to earth people I'd ever met. She never pulled rank, and she insisted on living life as a normal college student whenever she could. In that sense, Thayer was the best fit for her. Thanks to its proximity to DC and its world class international politics program, the campus swarmed with political offspring and international royalty. Just the other day, I'd overheard the son of the Speaker of the House and the Crown Prince of a controversial oil kingdom arguing over video games. You can't make that stuff up. Trust me, it was not fun, I grumbled. It was humiliating, and I owe Owen a dinner at least. My phone flashed with a new text. Liam, again. We've got 6 minutes left.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay. I swiped away the notification before any of my friends saw it. I wasn't in the mood to deal with him or his excuses right now. Au contraire.
Au contraire.
Thank you. I I thought it was hilarious. Jules finished the rest of her scone. You should have seen Alex's face. He was pissed. How is that hilarious? Stella snapped a photo of her latte art before joining the conversation. She was a big fashion and lifestyle blogger with over 400,000 Instagram followers, and we were used to her capturing everything for the gram. Ironically, for someone with such a big social presence, she was the shyest in the group, but she said the
Anonymity.
anonymity of the internet made it easier to be herself online. Did you hear me? He was pissed. Jules placed extra emphasis on the last word like it was supposed to mean something. Bridget, Stella, and I stared at her blankly. She sighed. Obviously,
Exasperated.
exasperated,
Exasperated.
exasperated by
Yes.
our lack of comprehension.
Yes.
When was the last time any of us saw Alex Volkov pissed or happy or sad? The man doesn't show emotion. It's like God gave him extra helpings of gorgeousness and zero doses of human feeling. I think he's a psychopath, Stella said. She blushed. No normal person is that controlled all the time. I was still upset with Alex, but a strange part of me felt compelled to defend him. You've only met him a few times. He's not so bad when he's not being bad, Bridget finished. All I'm saying is he's Josh's best friend, and I trust my brother's judgment. Jules snorted. This is the same brother who wore that hideous red costume to the last year's Halloween party. I wrinkled my nose while Bridget and Stella burst into laughter. I said judgment, not taste. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Stella tilted her head until her glossy dark curls cascaded over her shoulder. We always joked that she was the United Nations of humans because of her multicultural background. German and Japanese on her mother's side, black and Puerto Rican on her father's side. The result was 5 foot 11 inches of leggy limbs, deep olive skin, and cat-like green eyes. She sounds gorgeous.
Yes.
Supermodel material if she had any interest in being a supermodel, which she didn't. It was just an observation, but you're right. I don't know him well enough to judge. Statement retracted. I'm not upset. I faltered. What the hell was I doing? Alex didn't need me defending him. It wasn't like he was here, listening to us. And even if he were, he wouldn't care. If there was one person in the world who didn't give a shit what others thought of him, it was Alex Volkov. Guys, you're missing the point. Jules waved a hand in the air. The point is, Alex did show emotion. Over Ava. We could have fun with this. Oh no. Jules' idea of fun usually involved a heap of trouble and a potential dose of embarrassment on my part. What kind of fun? Bridget looked intrigued. Bridge! I kicked her under the table. Don't encourage her. Sorry, the blonde made a face, but all I have going on lately are... She glanced around to make sure no one was listening. They weren't, except for her bodyguard Booth, who sat at the table behind us and pretended to read the paper while actually keeping a sharp eye on the surroundings. Diplomatic events and ceremonial duties. It's terribly boring. Meanwhile, my grandfather's sick, my brother's acting weird, and I need something to take my mind off of it all. Her grandfather and brother, aka King Edward and Crown Prince Nikolai of Eldora, I had to remind myself they were human beings like everyone else, but even after years of friendship with Bridget, I wasn't used to her speaking so casually about her family, like they weren't literally royalty. I have a theory. Jules leaned forward, and the rest of us, even me, leaned in, eager to hear what she had to say. Call it morbid curiosity, because I was sure I wouldn't like what was about to come out of her mouth. I was right. Ava somehow gets under Alex's skin, Jules said. We should see how far it goes. How much can she make him feel? I rolled my eyes. All those long hours you put in at your internship must have scrambled your brain because you're not making any sense.
Okay, wait. Wait. It's almost like over the meeting. But I am so excited for book 2.
Bitch, we haven't even finished the first one.
I know, but book 2 is my favorite. And it's about Bridget.
Oh, I like about the princess. Are we gonna keep reading though when the thing finishes?
Well, we're gonna start another meeting.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I got them.
Yes, we will. But it's less
because I need to know.
I know, but it's less than a minute, so
awesome.
Now we're on like the end of a page and not in the middle of one.
Yeah, fair.
How is it still light here? I can barely read the pages. How am I still this light on camera?
I don't know. I still look like I'm overbelicht. Although the sun, look at the sunset. Look at that.
Wow.
Beautiful. Pretty. It looks better in real life, let me tell you. I am such a sunset, sunrise kind of girl. And I need me a guy who takes pictures of them and tells me they reminded me of you. Oh, yes, please. I feel like Landa would be that kind of guy. Okay, let's start right away with this. I am so blurry. It's unbelievable. Okay. Because you're not making any sense. Yes, that's where we left off. You look adorable. What did you do?
Toothpaste.
Oh, lovely. Not from tonight, because you're eating. Okay. She ignored me. I call it, dramatic pause, Operation Emotion. She looked up and drew an arc with her hand, like the words would magically appear in the air. Creative.
Sorry, that reminds me of SpongeBob.
with the rainbow. Creative, Stella teased. Hear me out. We all think Alex is a robot, right? Well, what if Jules pointed at me, can prove he isn't? Don't tell me you guys don't want to see him act like an actual human being for once. No. I tossed my empty coffee cup into the nearest trash can and almost beamed a passing student in a tire sweater. I winched and mouthed, sorry, before returning to the ridiculous proposition at hand. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Mijn computer is ineens heel wazig. Bij jou niet, toch wel?
Less. But it's because it's because of the lighting.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's okay.
Sorry. Okay. Don't knock it till you've tried it, my so-called best friend sang. What would be the point? I threw my hands in the air. How would it even work? Simple. Jules pulled a pen and notepad out of her bag and started scribbling. We come up with a list of emotions and you try to make him feel each one. It'll be a test of sorts, like giving him an annual physical to make sure he's functioning properly. That sounds like an APK voor je auto.
Oh, God.
No, sorry. Okay. Sometimes, Bridget said, the way your mind works scares me.
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Yeah, my mouth is not working with my brain at the moment. It's so annoying. I'm trying to read properly and then it just whack. Sometimes, Bridget said, the way your mind works scares me. No, I repeated, not happening.
Sorry. I'm just laughing. Continue.
Bitch, I'm trying to read here. It does seem kind of mean. Stella tapped her gold-polished nails on the table. Gold-polished? Oh, God. What emotions did you have in mind? Stell, what? She cast a guilty look in my direction. I'm curious. Off the top of my head, we've already seen angry. So, happiness, sadness, fear, disgust. A wicked smile slashed across Jill's face. Jealousy.
Inside Out.
I snorted. Eh?
Inside Out.
Yes. I snorted. Please. He'd never be jealous of me. He was a multi-millionaire executive. That, yeah, I tried to say it, but it didn't work.
I'll say it.
Thank you. He's a multi-millionaire
executive
with a genius level IQ. I was a college student who worked 2 jobs and ate cereal for dinner. No contest.
Girl dinner.
Girl dinner. Not jealous of you, jealous over you. Bridget perked up. You think he likes Ava? No. I was tired of saying that word. He's my brother's best friend. And I'm not his type. He told me so. My best friend's body is my company. Okay. Sorry. Psst. Jules waved away my protest like she would a mosquito. Men don't know what they want. True. Besides, don't you want to get back at him for what he did to Owen? I don't, I said firmly. And I'm not going along with this crazy idea. 40 minutes later, we decided phase 1 of Operation Emotion would commence in 3 days. I love that. I hated myself for caving. Somehow, Jules always convinced me to do things against my better instincts. Like the time we drove 4 hours to Brooklyn to watch some band perform because she thought the lead singer was hot, and we ended up stranded in the middle of the highway when our rental car broke down. Or that time she convinced me to write a love poem to the cute guy in my English lit class, only for his girlfriend, who I hadn't known existed, to find it and hunt me down in my dorm. Jules was the most persuasive person I'd ever met. A good quality for an aspiring lawyer, but not so much for an innocent friend, e.a. me, who wanted to stay out of trouble. Huh?
I.e.
I.e. What does it mean?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. That night, I climbed into bed and closed my eyes, trying to sort through my racing thoughts. Operation Emotion was supposed to be a fun, light-hearted experiment, but it made me nervous. And not just because it aired on the side of mean-spirited, everything about Alex made me nervous. I strutted, thinking of how he'd retaliate if he found out what we were up to, and thoughts of being flayed alive consumed me until I fell into a light, fitful sleep. Help! Mommy, help me! That sounded better in my head. Sorry for that. I tried to scream those words, but I couldn't. I shouldn't, because it was underwater, and if I opened my mouth, all the water would rush in, and I would never see Mommy and Daddy and Josh again. That was what they told me. They also told me not to go near the lake by myself, but I wanted to make pretty ripples in the water. I liked those ripples, liked how throwing one little stone could cause such a big effect. Only those ripples were suffocating me now. Thousands and thousands of them, dragging me further and further from the light above my head. Tears trickled from my eyes, but the lake swallowed them and buried my panic until it was just me and my silent pleas. I'm never getting out, never getting out, never getting out. Mommy, help! I couldn't hold it in any longer. I screamed as loud as my little lungs allowed, screamed until my throat was raw and I felt like I would pass out, or maybe that was the water rushing in, filling my chest. So much water, everywhere, and no air, not enough air. I thrashed my arms and legs in hopes it would help, but it didn't. It made me sink faster. I cried harder, not physically because I couldn't tell the difference between crying and existing anymore, but in my heart. Where was Mommy? She was supposed to be here. Mummies were always supposed to be there with their daughters, and she hadn't been there with me on the deck, watching me. Oh, what? And she had been there with me on the deck, watching me, until she hadn't. Had she returned? What if she was sinking beneath the water too? The blackness was coming. I saw it, felt it. My brain went fuzzy and my eyes drooped. I didn't have the energy to scream anymore, so I mouthed the words. Mommy, please. I jerked upright, my heart beating a million drums of warning while my faded screams soaked into the walls.
This
My
is a
covers twisted.
long ass chapter.
I know,
God
right? I'm
damn.
sorry. You're up next, I promise.
It's fine.
I jerked upright, my heart beating a million drums of warning while my faded screams soaked into the walls. My covers twisted around my legs, and I threw them off, my skin crawling at the sensation of being entangled, being trapped with no way to free myself. The glowing red letters of my alarm clock told me it was 4:44 a.m. A pinprick of dread blossomed at the base of my neck and slithered down my spine. In Chinese culture, the number 4 is considered unlucky because the word for it sounds like the word death. Si, 4, Sai, death.
See.
I don't speak Chinese, so I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Si is
See.
yes in Spanish, so
See.
okay.
Just a different
The only
accent, which is
ah
very, very subtle in Chinese.
okay. Okay, good to know. The only difference between their pronunciation is a tone inflection. I've never been a superstitious person, but chills swamped me every time I awoke from one of my nightmares during the 4 a.m. hour, which was almost always. I couldn't remember the last time I'd awoken during a different hour. Sometimes I woke up not remembering I had a nightmare, but those blessed occasions were far and few in between. I heard the soft patter of footsteps in the hall and schooled my features into something other than stark error before the door opened and Jules slipped inside. She flicked on the lamp, and guilt swirled through me when I saw her rumpled hair and exhausted face. She worked long hours and needed sleep, but she always checked on me, even after I insisted she stay in bed. How bad was it? She asked softly. My bed sank beneath her weight as she sat next to me and handed me a mug of Times tea. She'd read online that it helped with nightmares and started making it for me a few months ago. It helped. I hadn't had a nightmare in over 2 weeks, which was a record, but I guess my good luck ran out. Nothing out of the ordinary. My hands trembled so much liquid spilled over the side of the mug and dripped into my favorite Bugs Bunny shirt from high school. Go back to sleep, Jay. You have a presentation today. F that. Jules raked a hand through her tangled red hair. I'm already up. Besides, it's almost 5. I bet there are dozens of overambitious Lululemon wearing fitness junkies jogging outside right now. I mustered a weak smile. The fact that I
That's a tongue twister.
I know, and the fact that I did that pretty well baffles me.
Exactly.
Oh my god. I can't say that, but I can't say normal sentences. The fuck? I must have a weak smile. I'm sorry. I swear, we can soundproof my room. I wasn't sure how much that would cost, but I'd deal with it. I didn't want to keep waking her up. How about no? That's totally unnecessary. You're my best friend. Jules wrapped me into a tight hug, and I allowed myself to sink into her comforting
She's
embrace.
she's crazy, but she's so nice to her friends.
Who, Ava or Jules?
Jules,
Ah, yeah. Yeah, she's sweet.
also a little
But she'd
crazy.
been, yeah, just a little bit crazy. But she'd been my ride or die since freshman year, and I wouldn't have anyone else by
Wait,
my
where
side.
are you?
Everyone has nightmares. At the bottom of the page.
Yeah, well, you missed a little bit.
What? How about no? That's totally unnecessary. No, I didn't.
No, you missed. Sure, she let me into dubious situations sometimes, but she'd been my ride or die since freshman year.
Oh, I said that.
No, you missed the first part of the sentence.
How did I do that?
I don't know.
Okay, let me start over. How about no? That's totally unnecessary. You're my best friend. Jules wrapped me into a tight hug, and I allowed myself to sink into her comforting embrace. Sure, she let me into devious situations sometimes, but she'd been my ride or die since freshman year, and I wouldn't have anyone else be by my side. Anyone else by my side. Everyone has nightmares. Not like me. I'd had these nightmares, these awful, vivid nightmares that I feared weren't nightmares at all, but actual memories, for as long as I could remember. For me, that was the age of 9. Everything before that was a haze, a canvas, peppered with faint shadows of my life before. Peppered?
Yeah,
Peppered. Peppered.
Peppered.
The blackout, as I call it, the divide between my forgotten childhood and my later years. Jesus. Yeah, for real. The tongue twister. Jesus, the tongue twister was going fine, but this shit, no. Stop. It's not your fault. And I don't mind. Seriously. Jules pulled back and smiled. You know me. I'd never say something was okay if I wasn't actually okay with it. I let out a soft laugh and set the now empty cup on my nightstand. True. I squeezed her hand. I'm fine. Go back to sleep, jog, or make yourself a caramel mocha or something. Mocha? Mocha?
Mocha.
Okay. Mocha.
Mhm.
She scrunched up her nose. Me? Jug? I don't think so. Cardio and I parted ways a long time ago. Plus, you know I can't work a coffee machine. That's why I blow all my paychecks at the morning roast. She examined me, a tiny crease marrying her smooth brow. Give me a holler if you need anything, okay? I'm right down the hall and I don't leave for work until 7. Okay, love you. Love you, babe. Jules gave me one last hug before she left and closed the door behind her with a soft click. I sank back into bed and pulled the covers up to my chin, trying to fall asleep again, even though I knew it was a
Future.
futile,
Future.
futile exercise. But even though I was tucked beneath my comforter in a insulated room in the middle of summer, the chill remained, a ghostly specter warning me that the past is never past and the future never unfolds the way we want it to. I'm confused. Didn't she live next to the guy?
I'm sorry, something flew past my window.
It's a UFO.
Probably
You
a
can
bird
brighten
or a
you can
bat.
fair. You can brighten up my thing, right? Like I
I'll
look
try.
less sparkly. Okay,
I'll
it's fine.
try.
But I'm confused. Didn't she live next to the guy? Like he moved in there?
Next door, yes. Not in her house.
No, no, I know that, but like they're still living next door.
Yeah.
Or does she also have a room at campus or something?
No. Jules and Ava live together.
Okay.
So we got a little glimpse of Ava's past.
Past.
In the first
Heavy.
in the first chapter, she said she has a phobia of water.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense now.
It does. Definitely does. I dropped my pencil. Okay.
Do you write
You
in your books? Do you annotate?
No,
Okay, good.
I dropped this thing, but it's a reference to a song. you don't get it, it's fine.
I
I'm
don't get
weird.
it, but I was just wondering.
It's the Jonas Brothers Love Box song.
No idea.
Go listen to it. It's a good song.
No idea. Okay.
I need light in here. Hold on.
Okay. I put my light on and it's just like a spotlight on my face.
Here we go. It didn't change anything, but that's fine.
You look blue now.
I look like an angry Smurf. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I got a solution. Wait.
Okay.
I am messing up my whole ass fucking desk, but it's fine. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me just adjust this.
Also, we're seeing each other next week. Literally next week. Finally. Oh my god,
yes. I just remembered that because I texted Marinique. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna see you so soon.
Oh my god, it's been forever for you two to have seen each other.
21.
Whoa. I mean, for me, it's been 2 years as well. So, you know.
Yeah. For me, it's been 5, 4, something like that.
So long.
Since 21. Yeah. We met once, insane. And
I know.
It's insane. But I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Does this look better?
Yeah, I can see your face normal now. It's just your background that's like bad quality, but the rest is fine.
Yeah. But if I put on the light, it's going to be worse, I think, because it's from the back.
It's okay. Okay. Chapter 7. Yes, Alex. Don't do this. I poured myself a cup of coffee, leaned against the counter, and took a leisurely sip before responding. I'm not sure why you're calling me, Andrew. I'm the COO. You should talk to Ivan. That's bullshit, Andrew spat. You pull the strings behind the scenes and everyone knows it. Then everyone is wrong, which wouldn't be the first time. I checked my Patek Philippe watch. Limited edition, hermetically sealed and waterproof. The stainless steel timepiece had set me back a cool 20 grand. I'd bought it after I sold my financial modeling software for 8 figures 1 month after my 14th birthday.
That's the same amount that Carlos had to pay for taking a shit.
What? Oh my god!
I just saw an interview with him saying like I have to pay like this shit amount of thing, and it's like shit happens, right? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. And people in the comments were like, literally shit happens. Sorry, continue.
It's almost time for my nightly meditation session. I didn't meditate, and we both knew it. I wish you the best. I'm sure you'll have a flourishing second career as a busker. You took band in high school, didn't you? Alex, please. Andrew's voice turned pleading. I'm struggling with one hand. I have a family, kids. My oldest daughter is starting college soon. Whatever you have against me, don't drag them or my employees into it. But I don't have anything against you, Andrew, I said conversationally, taking another sip of coffee. Most people didn't drink espresso this late for fear of not being able to sleep, but I didn't have that problem. I could never sleep. This is business, nothing personal. It baffled me that people still didn't get it. Personal appeals had no place in the corporate world. It was eat or get eaten, and I, for one, had no grand aspirations of becoming prey. Only the strongest survived, and I had every intention of remaining at the top of the food chain. Alex, I tried it. Whoa. Again. I tired of hearing my name. It was always Alex this, Alex that. People begging for time, money, attention, or, worst of all, affection. It was an effing chore. It really was. Good night. I hung up before he could make another plea for mercy. There was nothing sadder than seeing, or in this case, hearing, a CEO reduced to a beggar. The hostile takeover of Groupman Enterprises would go ahead as planned. I wouldn't have cared about the company, except it was a useful pawn in the grand scheme of things. Archer Group was a real estate development company, but in 5, 10, 20 years, it'd be so much more. Telecommunications, e-commerce, finance, energy, the world was ripe for my taking. Groupman was a small fish in the finance industry, but it was a stepping stone toward my bigger ambitions. I wanted to iron out all the kinks before I took on the sharks. Besides, Andrew was an asshole. I knew for a fact that he'd quietly settled with several of his past secretaries out of court over sexual harassment charges. Breathe. I blocked Andrew's number for good measure and made a mental note to fire my assistant for allowing my personal cell information to slip into the hands of someone outside my tightly controlled contacts list. God damn, that sentence is long. She'd already effed up several times, paperwork with errors, appointments scheduled for the wrong times, missed calls from VIPs, and this was the last straw. I'd only kept her on so long as a favor to her father, a congressman who wanted his daughter to get a real work experience. But her experience was over as of 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'd deal with her father later. Silence hummed in the air as I placed my coffee cup in the sink and walked towards the living room. I sank onto the couch and closed my eyes, letting my chosen images play through my mind. I didn't meditate, but this was my own effed up form of therapy. October 29, 2006. My first birthday as an orphan. It sounded depressing when I put it like that, but it wasn't sad. It just was. I didn't care about birthdays. They were meaningless. Dates on a calendar that people celebrated because it made them feel special, when in reality, they weren't that special at all. How could birthdays be special when everyone had one? I used to think they were special because my parents always made a big deal out of it. One year, they took the entire family and six of my closest friends to Six Flags in New Jersey, while we ate hot dogs and rode roller coasters until we puked. Another year, they bought me the latest PlayStation, and I was the envy of my class. But some things were the same every year. I'd stay in bed, pretending to be asleep while my parents snuck into my bedroom, wearing goofy paper cone hats and carrying my favorite breakfast: blueberry pancakes drenched in syrup with hash browns and crispy bacon on the side. My dad would hold my breakfast while my mom tackled me and yelled, "Happy birthday!" And I'd laugh and scream while she tickled me fully awake. It was the one day of the year that they let me eat breakfast in bed. After my sister was old enough to walk, she joined them, climbing over me and messing up my hair while I complained about girl cooties getting all over my room. Now they were gone. No more family trips, no more blueberry pancakes and bacon, no more birthdays that mattered. My uncle tried. He bought me a big chocolate cake and brought me to a popular arcade in town. I sat at a table in the dining area, staring out the window, thinking, remembering, analyzing. I hadn't touched any of the arcade games. "Alex, go play," my uncle said. "It's your birthday." He sat across from me, a powerfully built man with salt and pepper hair and light brown eyes almost identical to my father's. He wasn't a handsome man, but he was vain, so his hair was always perfectly coiffed and his clothes perfectly pressed. Today he wore a sharp blue suit that looked woefully out of place among all the sticky children and haggard faced, t shirt clad parents roaming through the arcade. I hadn't seen Uncle Ivan often before that day. He and my father had a falling out when I was 7, and my father never spoke of him again. Even so, Uncle Ivan had taken me in instead of letting me drift through the foster system, which was nice of him, I guess. "I don't want to play." I rapped my knuckles against the table. Knock, knock, knock. One, two, three. 3 gunshots. 3 bodies falling to the floor. I squeezed my eyes shut and used all my strength to shove those images out of my head. They'd return, as they'd had every day since that day. But I wasn't dealing with them now. In the middle of a stinky suburban arcade with cheap blue carpet and water ring stains on the table. I hated my gift, but short of carving out my brain, I couldn't do anything about it, so I learned to live with it, and one day I would weaponize it. "What do you want?" Uncle Ivan asked. I shifted my gaze to meet his. He held it for a few seconds before dropping his eyes. People never used to do that, but ever since my family's murder, they acted differently. When I looked at them, they would look away, not because they pitied me, but because they feared me. Some base survival instinct deep inside them, screaming at them to run and never look back. It was silly, adults fearing an 11, now 12-year-old boy. But I didn't blame them. They had reason to be afraid. Because one day I would tear the world apart with my bare hands and force it to pay for what it had taken from me. "What I want, uncle," I said, my voice still registering the clear high pitch of a boy who had not yet hit puberty, "is revenge."
He sounds like a guy that I can fix.
Sure, sure.
Damn, that's heavy shit, bro.
I know, right?
He
I
didn't
hope.
kill his own family though, right?
No.
Okay.
I opened my eyes and exhaled slowly, letting the memory wash over me. That was the moment I'd found my purpose, and I'd replayed it every day for 14 years. I'd had to see a therapist for a few years after my family's death. More than one, actually, because none made any inroads, and my uncle kept replacing them in the hopes one would stick. They never did. But they all told me the same thing, that my obsessive focus on the past would impede my healing process, and that I needed to focus on my energy on other, more constructive pursuits. A few suggested art, while others suggested sports. I suggested they shove the suggestion up their ass. Those therapists didn't get it. I didn't want to heal. I wanted to burn. I wanted to bleed. I wanted to feel every scorching lick of pain. And soon the person responsible for that pain would feel it too, 1,000-fold.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
God damn. Are we
Oh,
gonna read
damn.
more?
Maybe I should try and read this last chapter and then it's gonna be finished. And then I have to go because I am gonna go to bed early because I have work tomorrow again.
Yeah, me too. At 7:15.
Oh, I have work at 9, but still.
Okay.
Okay. Chapter 8. Ava. Operation Emotion. Face Sadness. I came armed for battle. I applied makeup, brushed my hair, and wore my favorite white cotton sundress with yellow daisies at the bottom. It was both pretty and comfortable, and it showed off just enough cleavage to intrigue. Liam had loved it. Whenever I wore it, we ended up at his place, and my dress ended up on the floor. I'd
Ooh.
considered throwing the outfit away after we broke up because he'd loved it, but I thought better of it. I refused to let him ruin the good things for me, whether it was a dress or mint chocolate ice cream, which he used to buy me whenever I had my period cravings. I figured looking good couldn't hurt if I was angling for an unannounced evening movie-thon with Alex. I couldn't think of any good ideas to make him sad without being a total bitch, so I chose the neutral option of sad movies. They worked on everyone, yes, even men. I saw Josh cry once at the end of Titanic, though he claimed it was allergies and threatened to toss my camera from the top of the Washington Monument if I told anyone. Yeah, right. A decade later, and he still couldn't shut up about how there had been room for Jack on the door. I agreed with
There
him,
was.
but I didn't haven't watched it. But that
I mean,
didn't
either.
mean but that didn't mean I couldn't make fun of him. Since Alex was a teensy bit more reserved than Josh, I skipped Titanic and brought out the big guns. A Walk to Remember, sadder than The Notebook and Marley and Me.
I
I
haven't
knocked
seen a
on
notebook either.
same. I haven't seen A Walk to Remember either.
No.
I knocked on the door to Alex's house. To my surprise, it opened less than 2 seconds later. Hey, I stopped, stared. I'd expected to see Alex in a suit from the office or casual loungewear, though nothing he owned was really casual. Even his t-shirts cost hundreds of dollars. Instead, he wore a deep gray shirt tucked into dark denim jeans and a tailored black Hugo Boss blazer. Awfully
Ooh.
dressy for a Thursday night. Did I catch you on your way out? I tried to peer behind him and see if he had company, but Alex's frame blocked most of the doorway. Should I move so you have a clearer view of my living room? He asked sardonically. Heat scorched my cheeks. Busted. I don't know what you're talking about. Your living room isn't that interesting, I fibbed. Lack of color, no personal effects. What am I saying? Someone stop me. The painting's ugly too. Stop me now. Could use a woman's touch. F me sideways. I did not just say that. Alex's lips pressed together. Had he been anyone else, I could have sworn he was trying not to laugh. I see. The painting technically belongs to Josh, which should have been the first red flag. This time, a tiny smirk did touch Alex's mouth. To answer your question, I was on the way out. I have a date. I blinked. Alex on a date. Did not compute. Because of course the guy dated. Look at him. But it never hurt to see evidence of activity in his love life, unless you counted the women throwing themselves at him wherever he went. So I assumed he was one of those workaholics who had an exclusive relationship with his job. I mean, we'd been neighbors for over a month, and I hadn't seen him bring a single woman home, though admittedly, I wasn't watching his house 24/7 like a total creep. The thought of Alex dating was strange. That was the only word I could use to describe the niggling feeling in my stomach, the one that made my skin itch and my pulse beat double time. Ah, don't want to hold you up then. I stepped back and tripped over nothing, because of course I did. He reached out to steady me, and my heart jumped. It wasn't a big cheerleading competition worthy jump. It was just a tiny skip, really, but it was enough to fluster me further. I'll see you later. Since you're already here, might as well tell me why. Alex was still holding my arm, and the heat from his touch seared me to the bone. I assume this means the cold shoulder treatment is over. I'd been ignoring him for days since he stormed into Owen's house like an overbearing green eyed tornado. It was the longest I'd ever held on to my anger. Being upset was exhausting, and I had better things to do with my time, but I'd wanted to make a point, which was that he couldn't barge in and try to take over my life without consequences. For the most part, I narrowed my eyes, don't do that again. Don't parade in front of other men half naked, and I won't have to. I was not parading, his words clicked into place. Other men. Alex dropped my arm, his eyes growing even more glacial. Tell me why you're here, Ava. Is someone bothering you? His gaze sharpened. Liam? An obvious attempt to change the subject, but my head spun too much for me to call him out on it. No, it was nothing. Jules is on a date and I'm bored, so I thought I'd see if you wanted to hang out. I realized I should have come up with a less pathetic, more convincing excuse for why I'd shown up to his house unannounced on a Thursday night, especially since we weren't friends per se, but it was too late. See, this is why I never make it as a spy or lawyer. Jules would be so disappointed in me. You're a terrible liar. Alex looked unimpressed. Tell me the real reason here. Crap, I had to come up with another excuse. It wasn't like I could let him know about the Operation Emotion. I figured you could use the company now that Josh isn't here, I said. I haven't seen you hang out with anyone else since he left, so I thought you might be lonely. The sentence morphed into a question when I realized how dumb that logic was, because duh, Alex's life didn't revolve around his house. He may not throw house parties every week like Judge, but he probably ate out with friends and attended sports games like everyone else, which obviously isn't the case since you're going on a date, I added quickly. So I'll hop on back to my place and you can forget this ever happened. Enjoy your date. Stop. I froze, my heart thundering against my chest as I wondered how this encounter had gone off the rails. The funny thing was, it wasn't actually off the rails, it just felt like it. Alex whined at the door and stepped aside. Come in. What? But your date? Let me worry about her. I don't know what's going on with you, but since you broke your silent treatment to come over and hang out, something must be wrong.
Oh my, this man.
The seed of guilt blossomed into a full-blown tree trunk on all in my stomach. This was supposed to be a harmless experiment. I didn't want him to cancel his scheduled plans for me. But as I followed Alex into the living room, the thought that he was no longer going to dinner or whatever he had planned with some beautiful, mysterious woman pleased me more than it should have. I stifled a laugh at Alex's expression when he caught sight of the movies I'd brought over. Not a Mandy Moore fan, I teased, popping the DVD into the player and curling up on the couch while the previous pre-movie credits played. I still own DVDs the way I still own paperback books. There was just something so magical about holding your favorite items rather than seeing them on screen. I don't have anything against Mandy Moore, but I'm not a fan of modeling or melodrama. Alex shrugged off his blazer and draped it over the back of the couch. His shirt stretched across his broad shoulders, and the top two buttons were undone, revealing a sliver of his chest and sexy collarbones. I hadn't thought collarbones could be sexy, but here we were. I swallowed hard. It is not maudlin or melodrama, it's romantic. Doesn't she die in the end? Way to spoil it, I grumbled. He shot me a disbelieving look. You've already watched it. But have you? I know what happens. People wouldn't shut up about it when it first came out. Shh. I nudged his leg with my foot. Movie starting, he sighed. I loved the walk to remember, but I snuck peeks at Alex throughout the film, hoping to catch some sort of reaction. None, nada, zilch, even during Jamie and Landon's wedding. How are you not crying? I demanded, brushing away my tears with the back of my hand after the end credits rolled. This movie is so sad. It's fiction, Alex grimaced. Stop crying. I can't stop when I feel like it. It's a biological reaction. Biological reactions can be mastered. I couldn't resist. I scooted closer to him on the couch and pushed his shoulders forward so I could run my palm down his back. His muscles bunched beneath my touch. What, in a tight, controlled voice, are you doing? I'm searching for your control panel. I patted his back, trying and failing, not to notice the sculpted contours of his muscles. I'd never seen Alex shirtless, but I imagined it was glorious. You must be a robot. I
Oh,
received a stony glaring response. See? Robot. Do you have to swap out your batteries or are you rechargeable? I teased. Should I call you R2D? I yelped when he grabbed my arm and spun me around until I straddled one of his legs. My blood My blood roared in my ears as he tightened his grip on my wrists, not enough to hurt, but enough to warn me he could easily break me if he wanted. Our eyes locked and the roaring intensified. Beneath those jade pools of ice, I glimpsed a spark of something that sent heat curling through my stomach. I'm not a toy, Ava, Alex said, his voice lethally soft. Don't play with me unless you want to get hurt. I swallowed my fear. You wouldn't hurt me. That mysterious spark crystallized into anger. This is why Josh was so worried about you. You are trusting to a fault. He leaned forward a fraction of an inch, and it was all I could do not to lean back. Alex's presence crackled with coiled energy, and I had the unnerving sense that beneath all that ice lay a volcano waiting to erupt. And God help whoever was around when that happened.
I
Don't
want to
try.
be.
Don't try to humanize me. I'm not a tortured hero from one of your romance fantasies. You have no idea what I'm capable of, and just because I promised Josh I'd look after you doesn't mean I can protect you from yourself and your bleeding heart. Pink blossomed on my face and chest. I was torn between fear and fury. Fear of that hard, unyielding look in his eyes. Fury over how he spoke to me like I was a naive child who couldn't tie her shoelaces without hurting herself. This seems like an overreaction to a simple joke, I said, my jaw tight. I'm sorry I touched you without permission, but you could have told me to stop instead of giving me an entire speech about how you think I'm a helpless idiot. His nostrils flared. I don't think you're a helpless idiot. My anger edged out of my fear. Yes, you do. You and Josh both. You always say you want to protect me like I'm not a grown woman who's perfectly capable of handling herself. Just because I see the good in people doesn't mean I'm an idiot. I think optimism is a good trait, and I feel sorry for people who go through life believing the worst of others. That's because they've seen the worst. People see what they want to see, I counted. Are there awful people in the world? Yes. Do awful things happen? Yes. But wonderful people exist and wonderful things happen too. And if you focus too much on the negative, you miss all the positive. Utter silence, made all the more awkward by the fact that I was still straddling Alex's leg. I was sure he would yell at me, but to my shock, Alex's face relaxed into a hint of a smile. His fingers grazed the small of my back, and I almost jumped out of my skin. Those rose tinted glasses look good on you, sunshine. Sunshine? I was sure he meant that mockingly, but the butterflies in my stomach stirred to life anyway, fanning away my anger. Traitors. Thanks, you can borrow them. You need them more than I do, I said pointedly. A low chuckle slipped from his throat, and I almost fell to the floor in shock. Tonight was turning out to be a night of firsts. Alex's hand trilled up my spine until it rested on the back of my neck, leaving a cascade of tingles in their wake. I feel it dripping all over me. He did not. What? An inferno consumed my body. You. No, I'm not, I sputtered, pushing him away and scrambling off of him. My core pulsed. Oh my god, what if I was? I couldn't look, afraid I'd see a telltale wet spot on his jeans. I'd have to move to Antarctica, build myself an ice cave, and learn to speak penguin because I could never show my face in Hazelburg, DC, or any city where I could run into Alex Volkov again. His chuckle blossomed into a full blown laugh. The effect of his real smile was so devastating, even amid my mortification, that all I could do was stare at the way his face lit up and the sparkle that transformed his eyes from beautiful to downright breathtaking. Holy crap, perhaps I should be grateful he never smiled, because if that was what he looked like while doing it, womankind didn't stand a chance. I'm talking about your bleeding heart, he drawled. What did you think I was talking about? You forget Antarctica, I had to move to Mars. Alex's laughter subsided, but the twinkle in his eyes remained. What's the next movie? Excuse me? He angled his chin towards the DVD on the table. You brought two movies. What's the second one? The sudden subject change gave me whiplash, but I wasn't complaining. I didn't want to speak about my dripping anything with Alex, ever. My thighs clenched and I gritted out, Marley and me. Put it in. Oh, the DVD. I needed to get my mind out of the gutter. While the opening credits played, I okay.
I need to read the next chapter.
No, you don't. We don't have time for that.
I know.
Maybe tomorrow.
Can I read it?
No.
Can I be the one to read it?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I need his POV from this evening. Okay, go ahead.
I needed to get my mind out of the gutter. While the opening credits played, I sat as far away from Alex as possible and casually placed throw pillows between us for good measure. He didn't say anything, but I saw his smirk out of the corner of my eye. I was so focused on not looking at him, I barely paid attention to the movie. But an hour later, when my eyes drooped and sleep beckoned, I was still thinking about his smile.
Girl,
I know.
I'm jealous.
Okay, so this was the episode.
Yes.
Yes, we
Uh,
talked a bunch of nonsense.
a shit ton of nonsense, but
We're
that's
good
fine.
at that, so that's fine.
It's our thing.
I know. Okay, song of the week.
Yes.
Do you have one?
I'm thinking. I want to say his name right. Play Pretend by Alex Sampson, I think his name is. Let me look up the guy. Hold on. He's cute.
Don't
I
know who
found
that
him on
is.
TikTok like years ago,
Hmm.
and not like during COVID or something. And now all of a sudden the guy is getting really big, going on tour and stuff like that, and people are starting to recognize him and everything. I have I've had
Sorry, I'm so
one of his
tired.
songs. Huh?
Yes, I yawned.
Oh, I have had one of his songs in my playlist for like forever, and now he has more, so I'm like getting more songs in there. But
Nice.
he was so young. I think this song is from like 5 years ago or something, but I love it. Play Pretend, Alex Sampson.
Okay.
Go look him up. He's
Okay, okay.
hot and he can sing.
I have heard of his name, but I cannot picture him. Yeah, I okay, that's not my type at all.
But that's like a long time ago because he's much older now.
Okay, okay. I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Nice. My song is Hempstead by Ariana Grande. It's from the deluxe version of her album Eternal Sunshine. Um, the deluxe version is called Eternal Sunshine, Brighter Days Ahead. Um, and it's a piano song, and she has this short film that she made with about like when the deluxe version came out, and she plays a little bit of that song in the short film, and her
Mm,
father is in it, and it's really really cute, and the lyrics is so beautiful, and I kind of relate to the lyrics, but also she talks about going to a pub in London,
mm-hmm.
in Hampstead. That's why it's called Hampstead.
Yeah,
Because she wrote the song there apparently, which is really cool. Um,
that sounds really cool.
but I'm going to London in August, so I'm gonna go to the pub because I found out which one it is.
I love it. That's adorable.
But you should. I think you'll like her songs from the deluxe version.
Okay. I don't
I
know. I'll see.
there's I I think you'll like all of them actually.
It's oh sorry. Yeah.
Did you burp?
No,
Oh,
I'm looking at Instagram stories, and this is from Lando, right?
that's
The
the
one I
set.
told you about,
Okay, yeah.
the hoodie, the joggers, and the shirt, but it's not black; it's brown. So it's
Hmm.
baby blue, baby pink, and brown. So never mind, I don't want it. But they call it sky blue, lilac, and espresso.
But
Ugh.
lilac is purple.
I know, but it looks like pink. But you cannot see it because of the light.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, I cannot. It
it's
looks
out there.
black. Yeah, I can't see that.
No, I know.
Okay, so
Yeah, sorry.
you should listen to the songs from the deluxe version, the new songs. I think you'll like
Yeah.
them very much. Pay attention to the lyrics. They're really
Oh,
good.
I always do.
So, and I'll
Send them to
listen
me.
to Sam
Play
Thompson.
pretend. Yeah.
Alex Sampson, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I said Sam
Well, I love
Thompson, but
the.
that's a different person.
Huh?
I said Sam Thompson, but that's a different person.
Yeah, no, that's a different person. No, I like the Play Pretend song the most, I think. And then he has this new one called Used to You, I think, or something. It's recently out, and I it's catchy, so that one's good too.
Okay, okay. I'll
But for
give
the
it a
rest, I
listen.
haven't really listened. So
It's fine.
yeah,
Okay, thanks everyone for watching.
thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.